Alright, hope everybody's doing well. Just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about several things here, and it's kind of interesting watching my friends on YouTube do videos of, childhood memories, like people, remembering TV shows like Emergency and stuff like that, and other people remembering baseball cards that they had, and records they might have collected in their youth, and trying to get back to that kind of fun times there. It's not all perfect times, but you remember the best times that you had, and one of the things that I've shown many times on here is WonderWorks here, and again, our childhoods are disappearing very quickly because, many times, somebody does a clean out or a Goodwill dump, and then they'll throw stuff away and then, or set it off to the side, give it to somebody else and not realize that some of the stuff is really important to some of us because like a lot of the media here, like WonderWorks, a lot of the stuff has never been reissued in DVD format. If PBS ever came out with a complete comprehensive, one of each, I know sometimes may have made it to DVD, but the thing is that the titles have been transferred to different companies here and there, and the other thing, a lot of the WonderWorks tapes that I've shown in the past are kind of like these feature films for families or Dove approved type things, so WonderWorks sometimes in the title, and you could get two different tapes, or two tapes, and they could be two different qualities. One of them will have all the PBS WonderWorks type stuff on here, and it was a WonderWorks / Disney thing, again, Disney Vault, I don't know really what the heck, Disney might have some pull, but, Disney is frustrating everybody these days, putting stuff in digital formats and removing stuff and changing things out and deleting things. It's just kind of a mess there. But this is just one aspect, and I watched several videos and people say, oh yeah, I remember every week, blah blah blah, and not all of these things were necessarily WonderWorks, but they were thrown in that group there. And I remember other PBS movies and other movie of the weeks and all this other kind of CBS school breaks and after school specials. And again, all of these things that were, a lot of times based on books that were recently written or a long time ago. The Hoboken Chicken Emergency was a book that I had, and there was a cartoon of like a large chicken in a city or whatever, and I had that book for many, many years, and that was actually a WonderWorks movie at some point. Thought that was kind of cool, but that's one I don't have because it's expensive. What I mean by expensive is, would you pay $30 for a VCR tape that no one seems to even believe? You wouldn't believe it was $30. If 10 people out of 10 people would leave that tape there if it was on a table for 50 cents, why would you pay $30? That doesn't make sense to me. I always thought this balloon copter or whatever, it's like half of an airplane with a propeller on the back of it with a balloon on top. Very unusual and cool looking. But let's just get into a few tapes here. It's very hard to search WonderWorks, so you have to kind of basically put it in quotes here and then stick in the movies and TVs. Now, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is very, very common. I believe it's on DVD, and also there's different permutations of the tapes. So be very careful when you buy these because sometimes they come as 1 tape, 2 tape, and 3 tapes. Same thing with the Anna Green Gables type stuff. You want to make sure that you're not paying per tape and sort of thing, because a lot of times back in the day, like Titanic was 2 VCR tapes, so people charged you double, but it was essentially 1 movie and maybe some extras on it, so you really should have been only paying for 1, if that makes sense. Girl, the Limberlost, again, all of these titles that you're going to be seeing, I have all these. I have Girl, the Limberlost, I have that one. And there's different covers here. There's this one here, which I believe I have that cover here, and there's different WonderWorks one. The purple one are usually the ones, if you're being a completist, these purple ones here, hopefully I can get a zoom in on this one. Sometimes it doesn't like to do that one. Again, these are just because, not because I like the movie, it's just because I'm a completist here. And this one right here is the kind of the one that you want to start with. Now, saying all of these on that particular format, that I don't know. Again, there's other ones. Here's Waltz Through the Hills, I believe I have that one. Girl, Limberlost. Again, some titles are going to be very, very common. Prince Caspian. Here's Hoboken Chicken Emergency. Someone was $35 plus $11 for shipping. First of all, $11.34 in shipping is basically so they can make money on shipping. It should only cost like $4 or $5 total to ship that. I've seen VCR tape ship as low as $3, so that's just really just somebody's trying to take your money. for no apparent reason. The Chronicles of Narnia box set DVD. Okay, so that's a DVD set, so that's on DVD. And then Girl in Limberlost. Again, there's different copies here. WonderWorks Family Movie, and again, a lot of them will be Mrs. Eris Goes to Paris. I never saw that as a WonderWorks movie. I don't know. I mean, it had WonderWorks on. It's funny. The thing is that Hearst Entertainment, and then somewhere on one of these tapes here, and there we go, WonderWorks Family Movie. It was the most boring thing that I have ever seen in my entire lifetime. Somebody wants $40 for this tape here. I can tell you that you could find Miss Eris Goes to Paris with Angela Lansbury and Omar Sharif for $1 anywhere. Anywhere. You don't have, it's not rare. And $40 for that one is basically saying, I got one over you. And again, that's the one bad thing about these social media platforms. Again, there was a seller I was going to throw under the bus, but I decided not to. And he was selling, clippings from old newspapers, magazines, and sheets torn out of books. And he was usually around $10 to $40 for a ripped piece of paper. And he had thousands of items, and people were praising him up to the hilt. Home at Last. I cannot remember if I have that one, but that's, there's one there. And this is more in line of what you would want to have. I believe I have that one. I believe that was one of the more recent ones I picked up, and that's $8.50. But again, if you do your homework and go to thrift stores, you will find them. But what happens is when you go to these thrift stores and you find the movies and you wipe out their collection, they never get them. It's because they've had them for so long, they started stacking up because nobody else grabbed them. Again, some VCR tapes, there's certain ones that people want the horror movie, and they want the action films, they want certain things that are going to be, enticing to other people, and they're not wanting necessarily the kids stuff. A Little Princess, that's very, very common, and it's been put on different medias and titles, so, it will be the feature films for families, and some of those people have actually taken things out. I mentioned this before, Caddy Woodlawn, I've got the VCR and the DVD to it, and they're different running times, and things have been removed out of it. So the DVD is actually shorter than the it doesn't make any sense. Spirit Rider, I don't know if that's WonderWorks. I've seen that before. But again, I do not collect as much as possible the feature films for families. And you see that feature films for families logo? You know that that's going to be at every single thrift store ever. Because people are worried that they've basically taken a G movie and made it to a G plus or a G minus or whatever you call it. So, turn it into baby movies so not even babies can watch it without having any issues. Seal Morning, a very common one. Miracle Moreau, that's a very common one. Again, the Spirit Rider again. Chronicles of Narnia, Bridge to Terabithia, that's on DVD. And again, Girl of Limberlost, that's on DVD. Or no, that's actually VHS tape. That's an unusual cover there. See if I can find anything. The Boy Who Loved Trolls. And somebody wants $90 for The Boy Who Loved Trolls. I've never seen that one. $90. Again, we're losing our childhood to some of these people that, basically have deprived us. Now, it's possible that could be on YouTube for free. And that's another thing. I've been finding all kinds of, so I'm regaining some of my childhood back on YouTube. So you go to YouTube and you type in the WonderWorks, closing and family funding and all funding, and I'll just show you a clip of it with the headphones in there. So I just think that's very cool. That is very, very cool. So that's just one of them, different variations of that. And again, I'm just taking a little snippet here. Let's just go back to the WonderWorks. If I can get to it here. I got so many things open here. See if I can. Jacob, I Have Loved. That is another very common one. City Boy. WonderWorks City Boy. Now, I don't know that I have City Boy. And again, unfortunately, this is a feature films for families edition here. Again, you will see this as well too. Feature films for families down here. That doesn't mean it's bad or anything as much has been changed, but again, a lot of the WonderWorks titles have been kind of absorbed by these different organizations, and it kind of takes away from the original, my original, these are out of Utah or whatever. So I don't know if the Mormons are the feature films for families. Nothing against that. It just takes away from my kind of interest to it, And if I really needed a copy, I do have a couple of those in my collection. Just because, now here's Caddy Woodlawn and feature films for families. Again, Caddy Woodlawn, I picked that one up for $1. I also picked that one up at Dollar Tree for $1 when they were still $1. So there's no reason to pay $10 or $11. But you get free shipping, so if you really wanted that one, that's a good one there. It's actually pretty good. Emily Schulman was in that. And she was in, I forget, I wanted to try to get her autograph, Emily Schulman. But again, these child stars, again, I cannot get autographs from these child stars to save my life. I know several collectors in my YouTube groups, whether they are on YouTube or not, do the Hollywood actors, and man, I would love to get some of these people that were in these films, but can't do it. It's not Emily Schulman. I can't remember what TV show she was in. Numerous of them. Here's Mighty Pawns. Don't have that one. At least I don't think I have that one. That's cool. One thing I would like to have on DVD or even VCR tape is Powerhouse. It was a PBS. A lot of these PBS things were sort of like regional issue type of things. There's one called High Feather, which I found it was out of New York or something. There was another, but Powerhouse was more or less, nationally distributed, and it came on somewhere in that like 321 contact block, which is another thing that is not on VCR tapes very often. Only a few of them made to VCR tapes, and people asking, the moon for those. I actually have a couple of them. Shocking, I know. And here's Frog, one of the best ones ever. It's got Shelley Duvall and Elliot Gould in here, and I can't remember the kid's name. I'd like to get his autograph. He's not a kid anymore. He's probably in his 50s. That's funny how a lot of these people now that I admired when I was a kid are in their 50s. Frog, and I think they had frogs, period. So there was a talking frog, and I won't spoil it for you, but all, heck ensues. And so I actually have a copy of that. Mine might have been the feature films. I don't really remember, but I was just really, really tickled to get that one. So happy. And somebody else, I was telling somebody else about that, and they remember that was a vivid childhood memory of theirs as well, too. He's only a couple years off of me, so younger than me. So there's the Chronicles of Narnia. Again, if you're a Narnia super collector, you can get all different kinds of versions of that one. We're almost done here. There's more common titles. Sweet 15. Never heard of that one. That's, $22 for that one. Words by Heart. I can't remember if I passed on that one, or there's Caddy Woodlawn again. Again, another common one. You're going to see the same thing. Here's The Hole of the Moon, WonderWorks family movie. Again, when I went to IMDb, they had the listing wrong. So they had, at the end of the list, they had other stuff that didn't belong, and I didn't know if they had a complete list, and there was things I was not finding on there. So very frustrating, to not get a complete list here. Bridge of Terabithia, I believe I have that one. That was a sad, well, spoiler alert. The House of Dies Dreer, somebody wants $3. That's not bad for that one. So $7. That would be one I would say pick that one up there, because it's going to take you a lot longer to find that one than paying $3 plus $4.63 for shipping. So that's exactly where you want to be for eBay purposes. You want to be in that the $5 and under category. Miracle at Moreau, again, that's actually on DVD. That might be a hard to print DVD, but again, I don't know if that's a bootleg or what it is. Just don't want to. You Must Remember This. And again, you got to be very careful here. This is WonderWorks, actually. I've never heard of this one here. This is $7.20. You Must Remember This, and I've not seen. Hey, that's old Tim Meadows or something like that. Not Tim Meadows. What's his name here? Tim Reed. Sorry, Tim Reed. That's interesting. But I don't know that one at all. And then there's that almost looks like. And is that Vontae Sweet there? I don't know. Or maybe that's Vontae. I don't know who that is, but interesting. Tim Meadows, and that guy looks familiar. Oh, that's Robert Guillaume, isn't that? Is that Robert Guillaume? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's what it looks like. Interesting. So that's Tim Meadows, Vontae Sweet, and probably Robert Guillaume. It's really cool. I don't have that one. I need to pick that one up at some time, but I don't know if $7.20 is not bad. Free shipping. That's the first time I've seen that one. So, and I've looked on the Mighty Pawns. I actually might have that one. That's only $1.44. But again, so these things basically plague my shelves, and that's one of the problems with the VCR tape collecting. They're going to eat up your shelves, so you better be careful of what you want to keep and what you want to keep. There's City Boy again. Many of these things. There's City Boy and the WonderWorks, and that's a good one there, because this is in that purple and blue case. City Boy, but there's some sort of barcode there, so I don't know if that was a rental. Oh yeah, see, that's why I only had 1, 2, 3. Hey, 1, 2, 3. But still, that's not terrible. If you just wanted the Elk Grove Village Public Library, and they got rid of it because people just. It would be nice if people had VCR tapes at the library, but unfortunately, they would spend their lives rewinding tapes and charging people fees for rewinding them. Jacob I Have Loved. I don't know if I mentioned that one. That's a very common one, but again, that's feature films for families, so that's a very tough one to find in the WonderWorks. The Boy Who Loved Trolls, there's a $30 Sam Waterston. and some big names that were in these films here. Again, they're just becoming lost to history. Almost Partners is another good one there, but somebody wants $35 for it. It's not that rare. It really isn't. I would ask maybe 5 to 10 for that one. Paul Sorvino's in that one. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. There's Booker, I have that one. And we'll just finish off we're not even done with the page here, see? I'm looking to see there's the Hoboken Chicken Emergency for 25 bucks. Still too much. Still too much. It was $10 or less. I might think about picking that one up. I just don't remember that, because what happens is you watch, a TV series for your entire, whatever, run or whatever, but there's ones that you miss, and for whatever reason, they keep on rerunning the same things, PBS likes to run their cartoons into the ground, and what they'll do is there could be 400 episodes, just exaggerating, and they'll only run 100 of them, and the same thing as certain TV shows in syndication, on these different channels. They'll only running 50 of them. So you watch the Brady Bunch and you only see the same ones over and over again. But whereas the one, Oh My Nose, or the Orange Hair episode, or Cousin Oliver episodes, those are the ones you might be the only ones you get. It's like, crud. I just don't remember. Here's Hiroshima Maiden, and that's another one. That's supposedly a rare one, but they were only, $10? I've seen that a few times, but I don't have it. Again, you just do your homework at the stores here, and a lot of these stores I go to are 50 cents or $1 at the most. So, unfortunately, I have wiped out every single store. Obviously, the Chronicles of Narnia are always going to be there. The Anne of Green Gables, the Girl of the Limberlost, they will always be there. It might be cheaper to basically wipe out some of these titles and then hope that they bring out more movies and put them out again, and sometimes people walk in the store and see the DVD and VCR tape section, and they said, I have movies at home, so then they might donate to them. So again, sometimes, getting the ball rolling might help you in your quest of finding the movies that you really want. Now, I've done that before. Bought a bunch of records and they had an empty slot there, and then the next time I showed up there was more records. Because again, one guy said, he just right down the street here, he said, I've got tens of thousands of movies, and somebody said, can I look at them? He said no. But he will bring them out once there's empty slots on the shelves. So if you buy $20 worth of movies and there's an empty spot there now, he's going to bring out more DVDs. That's for darn sure. Every time there's a new slot that opens, puts out another DVD. But he told people, he said, I'm not going to look at my DVDs. I'm just going to bring them out one at a time. So again, at $1 a piece, that's just, asking for, what does a movie cost at a store? $10, $20, $30 for a new film here, and you get $30 for the same price? That's pretty good. And there's Maricela. I've never heard of Maricela. Look at this one here. We're almost done. Maricela, WonderWorks family movie, $14.99. That's the first one I've seen. Again, these things are not rare, but it's rare to have people upload them. So they don't see so many uploaded onto eBay, and they think they're rare. They don't have checked all the thrift stores like I have. So what are you going to do? But anyway, just one little snippet here. I've got many other vintage things in the works to show people works, haha, and hope everybody enjoyed this. I might throw the WonderWorks kind of a diddly bop at the end of the video here, and hope somebody gets a kick out of some kind of weird part of my childhood that I wanted to share with you, and thank you for watching.
WonderWorks was made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with additional funding from viewers like you and the National Endowment for the Arts.